Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's the final days of our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
It's Sunday, January 14th, and this is Doing the Thing. I'm James Gilmore, and I'm here with Faye OJ from The Motion. And Wizard Radio Station's Miles Mikulski.
Hey.
And we're going to be talking about everything happening in our worlds this week. How are you guys?
I'm great, thanks. Can't complain. It's been quite a chill start to the year, which I'm grateful for. So excited for today's discussion.
Amazing.
Yeah,
what about you, Miles?
I'm the same. I've been trying to dodge everybody who's had flu and had illness. I've been just swerve, and just trying to stay away from all of them. But apart from that, good so far.
Fantastic. Well, if you're listening live on Wizard Radio Station, where we do the thing live every Sunday from 8 p.m. UK time, you can get involved on Instagram and Twitter at WizRadio, email station@wizardradio.com. All of our details are on wizardradio.com. So, I'm firstly so blessed to be with you both today. I feel like one of the things I love about this show, which we're only in our second week of doing, is that it brings together people that have never met before or had conversations. I've got some things I want to talk about, but I wanted to throw it maybe to Faye first, if there was anything you wanted to chat about. Sorry, that might be unfair if I just put you in it.
No, it's fine. So what's actually been on my mind recently is the Kylie Jenner, Timothée, Selena Gomez thing. Not because I care, because I don't, but I just love that we have like silly things back in the media. I feel like in the pandemic everything became like quite deep, and that's not to like make light of some of the things that have been brought up in the last years, but it just took me back to just when I was like 14, trying to catch up with what was happening with Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez's beef. It was a bit like nostalgic. I mean, I can't believe we're still kind of there as society, but like, you know, if I take off my woke hat, it's just so fun to see people trying to like make something out of nothing, basically.
I'm a supporter of like making the news mind-numbing again, because my brain hurts, as you said, Faye. Like, everything's so serious, and rightly so. Like, there's good reason for that. But yeah, you're right. And also, it feels like it's been a minute since there's been any sort of like Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, Kylie Jenner drama in the air. I missed it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
it's been... Sorry, go ahead, Miles.
Like, I think it's just because Taylor Swift's just been kind of chilling with Travis Kelce for a while, so everyone's been kind of more excited on that.
Yeah, and also, like, when she broke up with... I'm a bit of a Taylor Swift expert, so, like, give me a sec. But when she broke up with her ex-boyfriend, who she was with for ages, Joe, that was, like, felt like such, like, just for, like, the fans, because he wasn't really a celebrity. That I also love that she's with like a proper celeb again, even though I'm not sure anybody in the UK knew Travis Kelce. But I don't know, Miles, I feel like weirdly you're somebody that might have known Travis Kelce.
I mean, I like the reach, but I didn't know who that was either.
Fine.
Like I like football, not American football. I didn't know who that was. To be fair,
Fine. Of anybody that I was like, I bet you like randomly this person might know American football. I was like, yeah, Miles could have.
I could probably be able to play it, but just I'm not here for that right now. I'm just not here for it. I'm nice to see the power couple together, doing what they're doing. It's brought a lot of attention to the sport, and obviously, like the American football fans are kind of. I don't know if they're happy that Taylor's there, because obviously every time he does something, the camera just turns to her, and it's like, okay, what are we here for? Are we here for him? Are we here for her? What's going on? So I'm happy to see that, but that's it for now.
Yeah. Faye, what do you think?
I think it's interesting that Miles mentioned power couples, because as you said that, I was thinking, who actually are the power couples of today? Because like as you said, I don't really know Travis Kelce. I know in terms of like American, their fandoms, they're quite staunch in their camps. Like, you're a pop star, leave our like American football player alone. But I'm actually wondering, like, would you say Kylie Jenner and Timothée, do they count as a power couple? Like, I'm like, who are the power couples of 2024?
Do you know what? Like, Timothée Chalamet is like, he's definitely up there with like one of the new, like, kind of young actors, like GOATs right now. So I would put him there, but then I'm thinking to myself, if someone who is like 40 years old, would they know him apart from if they watched June, like last year or 2 years ago? That's the only part for me where I'm like, I don't know if they'd know him, but I think he's definitely up there. Definitely up there.
Well, I think we had like this lack of real film stars for ages. And I agree that like him, Zendaya, I wouldn't even call Tom Holland at that level yet. Because I think Tom Holland he's not crossed over outside of, in my opinion, like big hits. Oh, Miles is ready. Over to you.
Spider-Man, not three big massive films, not the one that had everyone crying at the end of 2022.
Yeah, but it's all the same franchise. Whereas like Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet have hopped through multiple big hits, and I feel like you would see a film now because Zendaya's in it or because Timothée Chalamet's in it. Tom Holland, I don't know if I would like go and see a film just because Spider-Man's in it if it's not a Spider-Man film.
Do you know what?
Now that you said that, I think I'm inclined to agree. I'm like a massive Marvel fan, so it hurt me when you said it first, but I think that is a valid point. Like, would I just see a random like rom-com with Tom Holland or a drama?
It's actually so true, because I went to see he released a film straight after Spider-Man, like a couple of months after. I think it was Uncharted or something like that, and I fell asleep in the cinema. I can't lie. So it hurt as well, but you might be right, James. You might be right. Because, Tom Holland, maybe outside of Spider-Man, he's not the guy right now.
And I was thinking about this because there's this new Kevin Hart film that's come out on Netflix, like literally this past week. And I feel like a Kevin Hart film or like Dwayne The Rock Johnson film, and I know it's a little bit different because of he was kind of cancelled for a bit, but Will Smith, the three of them were the highest paid actors in Hollywood for quite a few years. But now I'm not sure, maybe still The Rock, but even The Rock did Black Adam and it didn't do that well, like commercially. So again, I was kind of like, if Kevin Hart, The Rock and Will Smith aren't guarantees at the box office, like who really is?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you should say that. So I would have never put Kevin Hart, The Rock, and Will Smith in the same sentence ever. Like, I'm shocked that like they're the like top three. I feel like potentially because Kevin Hart came as like the comedy guy, The Rock came as like the wrestling guy. So they have made like amazing movie careers, but in my head, they're not like first and foremost actors like say Will Smith or Denzel Washington. So if those are like the top three right now, and then obviously, as you said, Will Smith is, trying to get out of his cancellation phase, I don't know then about the future of like, especially like black actors in Hollywood. I mean, but then we have like Damson Idris and some of the newer guys as well. I suppose.
I think it's really good that there is like a new generation coming through. I kind of see what you're seeing, Faye, and I think that maybe Will Smith is different. I always associate Kevin Hart and The Rock together because they've done a lot of films together. And they've got that kind of like social media thing, like rivalry between the two of them. But, and to be also fair, none of their films were ever like the sorts of films that I'd watch. I only watch depressing films. And like coming of age movies, so it was never films of the two of them. But you would have still had from any three of them, like I guess an amount of social media buzz or hype. But you're also seeing that with like Marvel last year really struggled. A lot of their films didn't get buzz. DC have really struggled. These films and franchises that were guaranteed at one point no longer seem guaranteed. Miles, what do you think?
I think Hollywood right now is so dry. It's so boring. There's no original stories. I don't think there's anything that's going to be like really groundbreaking, or I could say, wow, I really want to go to the cinema to see that. Even the brand new film, that Night Swim film that came out. You're like, who's looking at horror films in a swimming pool? That's not, those two things, they don't match up together. They're not compatible. And it's like, you get some of the new actors, actresses, and everyone who's in Hollywood now. I feel like they're on a development plan, and they might be like 5 years away from being, you know, that person that you could automatically say, look, like, we got an action film, we want to book this person, that person. But we're still kind of relying on some of the older heads like Sylvester Stallone. Like Expendables is on like what, 4 or 5 right now. I'm more excited to go watch a 50-year-old 50 Cent go and do a madness than watch someone else who maybe is not established as much. And it's kind of a sad place, but I don't know. I'm just being fickle.
Do you think that Hollywood's gearing more towards like series instead of the big movies? Because if I think of the big movies of last year, I think like Barbie, Oppenheimer, and then I'm starting to like struggle, you know, aside from the franchises that we know, like Marvel, as you said. Whereas if you think of like series, it's like one's out every week. And I think that actually gearing potentially new Hollywood towards series and being known as the face of a series than the face of like a big movie.
Facts. Absolutely facts. I think last year everyone was hooked on The Night Agent on Netflix. And even the year before that, Squid Game was obviously the main. I think it was that 21 or 22. I think it's 21. So there was something else in 2022 that was really big. But everyone's hooked on like different series because you can, I guess, binge watch them. You can watch all 10 episodes, 20 episodes in one go. And it's more fun. I think, like you're saying, just it's more geared towards those now. I mean, films right now, especially with the actor strike that happened last year as well, like there's such a big gap where we're still waiting for stuff. Whereas a series, you can kind of drop it one year, come back again next year, and it's all right until the show gets boring. Bit like Cobra Kai. That got very long very quickly. But we'll move on. I'm not talking about that right now.
Is that the like the Karate Kid spin-off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah,
that got long very quickly.
Well, I guess it's like last night, right? I was looking through Netflix, just trying to find something new to watch. I feel like I've not watched anything new for ages. Like, I've had new series of shows that I've watched for a long time, or shows that were made like years ago, The Office and stuff like that. But in terms of a brand new series, and there was not a single thing. I ended up going to iPlayer and watching Inside the Factory to see how they make like crumpets or something, just because it felt like a bit fun. And I was like,
I watched that the other day as well.
It was fantastic. I
watched the Jelly Beans episode.
Yeah, Jelly Beans that's a good one as well. I mean, I'm thinking I'm sat here paying £10 a month to Netflix, who are providing nothing new that's good for me. And now you're just watching stuff that has already been on like TV that we technically already pay for through like the TV license and stuff. You know, it feels like we're kind of going back to where TV was before streaming, with just like shows that like The Office or whatever runs on repeats on TV the whole time. I don't need a Netflix subscription to see that.
Yeah, it is interesting that you should say that, because I think what you guys just spoke of that you watched in the factory is like kind of real, like you're watching real content rather than created content. And one of the best things that I watched this year was Squid Game, The Challenge. And I think that it's two parts to that. I think that new TV is coming out. It's just not coming out from the Western world. I think it's coming out from Asia, from Africa. I think that's like a big thing right now. I think that's the most original content I've seen. And then also just like the need for just unhinged show. Like I think Squid Game, the challenge was just unhinged. And then on the weekend I watched Jury Duty as well. So I think putting real people in just like unhinged environments, I feel like we need more of those shows definitely, because I think, as you said, in terms of just coming of age movies, like there was To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and then now like just like a like, for lack of a better word, just a B-Tech version of that, of with I don't even know what it's called, but it's basically Summer I Turn Pretty, and then My Life with the Water Boys or whatever. Like a girl falls in love with two brothers. It's we've seen it so many times. Like it's done and it's tired. So I just need more unhinged TV or more TV from, you know, different continents.
Honestly, it's like at this point you're looking at it like, play the violins. We've heard that story already. We don't need that again. And I mean, it's good. And I feel like the realism of TV now is so much more important, because like I don't really watch Netflix unless it's a big series that everyone's talking about and then I get persuaded to come over to it. I spend most of my time probably like watching, if we're talking full length videos on YouTube, because you could go from watching something like on your favorite music or your favorite sport or favorite topic or hobby, and then go watch something random and just completely strange. And it's just like, okay, like I've been watching this thing about these ants in a terrarium at the moment, and he's made like from Amazon rainforest. I'm like, why am I here? But I'm here, I'm invested. It's 32 minutes long, but I'm going to watch this because I enjoy it, but I don't know why. But I think it's just, we want to see things that are more real, that maybe I don't experience in our world, as opposed to like watching a fake story where about high school or secondary school or uni or something, where we know if you've been to those and you've had those experiences, chances are they're probably not going to happen.
I also think we've been like let down so many times by streaming services. I remember like the moment it was for me, you know, there was a period of time before the pandemic and like in 2020 where there were all of these like massive moments. Like every documentary that came out on Netflix felt big and got everybody talking. And all like I watched one of my favorite, like, what was it? Like, almost like a sitcom on Netflix was Superstore, which was just from like an NBC sitcom in the US. And then Netflix announced a new series called Blockbuster, which was a sitcom based in like the last blockbuster on Earth. And I was so excited. I just finished Superstore, like Blockbuster was about to come out. I watched episode 1. I couldn't even get through it. It was so awful. That for me was like the kind of straw that broke the camel's back. And I've really struggled to like trust, in particular for me, like a Netflix show since. I find that Disney Plus is like my second favorite child and is much better, but there's just much less new content on there. So I'm less likely to go there looking, whereas Netflix still has multiple new things every week. I'm interested though in everybody's opinions on Squid Game, the challenge, because that was really controversial.
I didn't watch it.
Me either.
So
fine.
Yeah. So if it, yeah.
I guess it's just me then. I just honestly thought it was hilarious. Like I loved the original Squid Game, and I just thought it was shocking that they were kind of more emotional than the characters in Squid Game, but the characters in Squid Game were facing death. And the characters in Squid Game, the challenge, were just facing, like, not winning money that, like, as a human being, you know that it's very unlikely that you're going to win, you know, out of 456 people, and if you've watched the show. So, like, I was just shocked at how, like, emotionally invested everyone was in it. I just thought it just made amazing TV, and just seeing, like, you get a range of people of different ages, and, like, seeing what they actually do to, like, people do anything, basically, and I think a lot came out of just like human nature. I just thought it was such an interesting show, but I get after the show a lot has come out on the conditions and things like that, and obviously it's never that deep to put people into horrible conditions to make good TV. I think that there are a lot of choices that they didn't have to make that they did. So
would you ever go into a show like that yourself though? Like say if they did one in the UK and said, cool, we're gonna get 100 people, you win £10 million, you got 5 challenges, would you ever do it?
Do you know what? I would, but it was when they were saying how cold they were during red light, green light, and like I just cannot be cold, so I think I would just like run away from the first challenge. But if that was a heated challenge, 100%, I would do it.
Fair. I hear it. James?
I had like a problem with it because I saw all of the complaints about the conditions. And I literally thought, have you not seen Squid Game? Like, why did you think this was going to be a nice experience? So I wouldn't do it because, like, clearly, like, the whole show was about how awful this, like, game show is. And all these people walked into this being like, you know, it's going to be maybe difficult and challenging. But then they were subjected to these challenges and they didn't like the conditions it was done in, as if this isn't the whole point of it. So I agree with what you said, Faye, around just like it should never be that deep. But I also felt like people should have been a bit more conscious of what they were putting themselves into.
Yeah, I guess so. I think my ideal type of reality TV show, though, is something like The Traitors. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a massive mafia. And I think just that kind of like reality TV show that isn't tied to, you know, falling in love, that you have to, you know, betray people a little bit, that it's a bit more strategic. I just like sign me up, honestly. I'd love to go on that show.
I feel like they'll be doing a season 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 phase, so I feel like you could definitely be involved.
No, that'd be great.
Would you rather be part of the? I think it's what, the Traitors, and then it's like the Faithful or something like that. Which one would you prefer to be in?
I think that if I was a Faithful, like, people would just think I was a traitor. So I feel like I might as well benefit from being a traitor, because I think I'd be one of the first to go as a Faithful. I think I think I'm also just very paranoid, and I would start to think that I was a traitor, knowing that I wasn't, and start to act like a traitor. It's like, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah.
Fair. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think I'd rather be a traitor, because you already know your back's up against the wall, so you gotta come with the most convincing game. You gotta give the full eye contact. You gotta look at the screen and be like, look, I believe in you. We gotta get them out. No, it's me. I'm the one you want to get rid of, but we're not doing that today. At the end of it's basically like a TV version of Among Us, and I kind of like that. So it's a pretty good concept. I mean, James, what would you be, the traitor or the faithful?
I'd be a traitor. I wasn't even gonna lie to myself. Miles, though, I was gonna ask, like, if you would ever actually go on a show like that.
On the show, yeah, I would definitely go on the show. To be fair, I would go on Squid Game as well. I know I'm not gonna win it.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna take if I have 100 people, I'm gonna take my chances. I might fall out of red light, a green light. It might be too cold, might be too hot. I might just move, I might twitch for a little one too, and then I'm out. But you have to be in it to win it. So even with like your traitors, I mean, it will show, I guess, if you watch it back once you're in the series and, you know, it's out for the public and that, like, you'll be able to see what type of person you are. Because if you're trying to, like, you know, be good and you're on, like, the faithful side, you're trying to assess people, you can see a blatant red flag, because everyone's always about red flags and stuff. A red flag is waving in your face saying, come on, look, why aren't you spotting this? And you're just like, okay, don't worry about it. So I'll just watch it to assess the group and how I would act, so I know next time I'm not in that situation. Can't lie.
Fair enough.
On the
Miles,
theme of, like, watching... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, Faye, after you.
I was going to say, on the theme of watching yourself back, do you both feel like you would be given a good edit if you were ever on a reality TV show? Do you think you'd be edited as, like, the villain or the good person?
Ooh, James, I'll let you go first.
I think I'd be edited out. I actually think, you know, those people that are like, wait, I was in that show. Have you ever seen that Gavin and Stacey thing where Mick is on the news and like he's interviewed for 10 minutes and the whole family, everybody gathers around the TV to see his news segment. He's literally on it for 5 seconds. That is what would happen to me. Like, I feel like in the moment, I'd feel like such a main character, and then everybody would watch it, and I'd be such, like, not even a B character, just like a D character. So, yeah. Miles, what about you?
You got faith. I mean, before I get into me, you gotta have faith in yourself. You know, you gotta believe. Listen, it's not everyday main character syndrome, yeah, but sometimes main character syndrome for the show. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know, because it depends on the mood I'm in. Like, if you catch me and I'm hungry and I'm tired, I'm primetime villain. I'm Disney villain. Like, I'm Jafar, Scar, all of them. Yeah, but if I'm in a good mood and they want to edit me in that way, then it should be fine. I mean, it just depends on if I'm dropping one-liners or I'm saying something funny. If not, then boy, I'll just be on the sideline, just be like, shade, and keep it moving.
Miles, if you were on Love Island and you got to the Love Island final and you were like, you had the money up for grabs and you got the opportunity to decide whether you're going to split with your partner or still, what would you go for?
This is the thing, though, because there's a few clauses in that situation that you have to break down first. Do I actually like this person? Do I see myself, even though it's a show, do I see myself having at least a 6-month future with this person? Am I going to get a little boohoo or something sponsorship deal if I stay with this person? Or am I just with this person because, hey, look, it's just a show and it's time to go? Because if it's the third one, the third option, I don't really like it that much. Give me the 50k, all of it for me. But realize you're going to be a villain outside of the villa. So there's also that. So I might just be nice and split it. And then just have to just put some things in my contract and say, yo, I need an extra 10k because I was nice.
But here's the thing. So I think you have to split it. But actually, before I go into my reasons, Faye, what would you do?
No, I feel like I would steal. I would take it. Just because no one's ever done it before. Like, that opens up so many more conversations. We're having more interesting interviews with the winners, not just a typical, where do you see yourself? I feel like it creates a story. And then I could just spin it and be like, oh yeah, I just wanted to see if they were really with me or they were with me for the money or not. I feel like I could spin it into a positive steal.
I don't think people are buying
I hear it.
I don't think people are buying it.
The thing is, the worst part of that, though, is you can't then go and kiss that person or hug that person after because they're fuming. You took all their money. You took 25 or however much it is, K, and then you want to hug and kiss. Oh, no, I just wanted to test you. That's not a test. I'm now financially broke because of you. I'm now minus. My bank account is not in a good space.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think they should just remove the still anyway, because I think realistically the people aren't on the money for on the show for 50k or 25k. They're on it for all the money that they make afterwards. So I think it's just a really unnecessary part of the show, in my opinion.
I agree. It always feels really clunky, but here's why I think you have to you have to split. You have to split because if you split and your partner split, you've got 25k, you're still in a relationship, it's easy. If you split but your partner steals, you're now the victim. You're going to get all the brand deals anyway. You get the brand deals, which is the real jackpot if you stay together. You get the brand deals if you're the victim on the show. You get some sort of empowerment deal with Pretty Little Thing or something. If you steal, if you both steal, you don't get anything. If you steal, you're the villain. And for what? You've got to keep your eye on the big pots here. I think that's... The big pot isn't the winner's money. It's that £1 million JD Sports by whoever, PLT by Molly May deal. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to be back right after this. Welcome back to Doing the Thing. My name's James Gilmore, and I'm joined by Miles Mikulski.
Hey.
And Faye OJ.
Hey.
And we're going to move on to talking about a story that's a little bit more at home, because I feel like towards the end of last year, everybody on the internet was talking about the MSG Sphere in Vegas, the massive music venue that's circular and had lots of a big screen on the outside. And for years, there have been discussions of one coming to London, but it has officially been shut down after MSG pulled their plans this week, because in their words, it had become a bit of a political football amongst the government. Guys, if it had been built, would we have welcomed an MSG Sphere, or do we think it's unnecessary in London?
Honestly, when you said everybody was talking about it, I must have just not been part of that everybody. I'm really unsure, but I mean, in terms of massive venues in London, do we need any more? I mean, we've got the big stadiums, of course. We've got the O2 Arena, but also why not? Why not?
I think it's just the location is not needed. It was supposed to be in Stratford, right?
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, Stratford's quite busy already and it's gone through a lot of changes in the last like 20 years. So I think maybe if they put it like somewhere else, maybe, because I feel like every part of London is quite populated. There's a venue anyway. So like North London, that's what, Ali Pali, kind of one of them. You got O2, which is like east, southeast. You had obviously Brixton before that has been currently still closed down. West London, you had a few little small spots. To be honest, it probably would have been better in West London, like maybe in like a Richmond or a Twickenham or somewhere like where they've got a lot of grassland where it doesn't really matter, and it's a nice reason for people to go there. Not just slagging off West London for anyone who's listening over there, but I think it's just a situation where I think they kind of just chose the wrong place, and I know they wanted to do it around the Olympic Park. But I think they were just trying to find a reason to like utilize a space that's kind of been a bit dormant now for like 10, 12 years. But it's just so much money to just refurbish a whole area again. And it would just been too much, to be honest.
Yeah, I think also obviously North London's got Wembley Arena and Wembley Stadium. Also Stratford has, as you guys said, like as well as the O2, it's got the Olympic Stadium as well. I think Stratford, I agree, was the wrong location. Miles, I think what you're saying is that like West London did have a big music venue, Earl's Court, which got knocked down.
Yeah.
And I feel like we went through this era like 10, 15 years ago of loads of like venues and stuff being shut down, only now for there to be demand for more new venues.
100%. I mean, I used to go past Earl's Court, like the exhibition centre, like every single day when I was on the way to school. So I saw it from when it was there, then it was been knocked down, and it's just now just an empty space where they're building flats. And I think that could have been a great location for it as well, somewhere that's not too central. But I think some points what I like about London is that you get to go to these really small, intimate gigs as well. And I kind of more appreciate sometimes these kind of like 100, 150 capacity gigs, sometimes more than like your O2. Like I went to Rema and 21 Savage at the O2 in November, and I think it was early December last year. And I didn't really have, like, obviously I'm watching it, I'm enjoying it, but I didn't have no connection with the artists whilst they're performing on stage. Whereas I saw Siku a couple of months before that, and it was in a venue, 100, 150 people max. Great. I had more time and fun there with someone who has less songs than someone who is like Rema or 21 Savage, who've got a good couple of albums under their belt already.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've heard a lot about that Rema gig at the O2 in particular. A lot of people I spoke to about it felt that the production was just like too big.
You know what? I can't lie. There was one point where I know he was because he's from like a space in Nigeria called Benin, right? So he was actually speaking in like whatever dialect, because it's not Yoruba, whatever dialect it was, they were speaking in that. But when it sounded like he was sacrificing everybody, I was like, okay, everyone's standing up watching this. I'm like, I'm sitting down. I'm seated. I had to cross myself 1-2 times and said, I want to go to heaven one day. I'm not involved in this. I know what he was doing, so I know it was fine. But I think he had like a couple of outfit changes. He came on like a 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse kind of vibe. So I think if you didn't know like the sentiment of those like the imagery that he's trying to use, you probably would be lost with it. Whereas it wasn't just a clear-cut Afrobeat performance. I think Rema's kind of transcended that anyway. He's become one of the biggest Afrobeat artists. You know, he's got one of the only Afrobeat tracks that's got 1 billion plays on streaming services on Spotify alone. But I think it was easily lost in the crowd because a couple of people were looking around at each other being like, okay, cool. That's what we're doing? I'm going to wait till we calm down and just sit down. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you think we're, Faye, do you think we're still like missing Brixton Academy? I know that like for me as a venue, I miss it a lot, but it feels like there's that real gap in live music in the UK still in London because Brixton Academy is still shut.
Yeah. So just for context, I'm a Northwest London girl. I rarely kind of venture into South. I just love to stay in Northwest. So I can't say that I miss it. Like that venue specifically, if anything, is meant that maybe more things are a bit closer to me. That's me selfishly. But on a wider level, in terms of like small, intimate music venues, I completely agree. Because what Miles was saying before, like if you just keep bringing in big stadiums, you're just going to open up more like £40 to £50 tickets of people who, like, Beyonce at the end of the day looks like a little dot on your screen. So it's like you're bringing it out, but you're kind of removing the intimacy. Whereas I feel like some of the best gigs I've gone to, you do get to like see the artist, and you also have the like privilege of knowing that everyone with you can see them as well. Whereas Beyonce had the best time. I was in Club Renaissance, but then I was like FaceTiming my friend who was like in the top, and it's like we're not actually experiencing the same thing. And I think part of concerts is to be able to experience it for yourself, but experience it with other people as well. So I would definitely say they need to reopen Brixton Academy and like make room for smaller concerts and smaller gigs as well.
Miles, what do you think's the worst venue in London?
That's such a big question. Now I have to rack through my brain and think of the worst venues I've been to. You know what? I can't answer that question right now because I need some time to think about it. Just because there's been a few. I think I'll say anywhere that doesn't have good air conditioning in there. Okay. If you're packed in like sardines, then sometimes like you're looking for the aircon to save your life. So ironically, Brixton Academy, I went to K-Tronada last year, not last year, early 2023. I think it was the middle part of the year, or 22. I think it was 22, sorry. And K-Tronada was performing, great set, but I was getting hot and there was no breeze. So one girl that was standing next to me, complete stranger, she had one of the portable fans that she was fanning herself. She just turned the fan on me. I said, "I love you, thank you very much." I said, that's all I need. I was looking on the other side, looking at the fire escape, thinking, how many people do I have to push past to get to the fire escape to get fresh air? Because it was that hot in there, and loads of people were saying that. So I would say that might be. I wouldn't say it's the worst venue because I've had some good times in there. I've seen Jay Huss in there. I've seen a few other artists in there before, but air conditioning in venues is key. Safety and air conditioning for me is the top two.
I actually agree. And this is the thing, like, I don't want to say a bad word about Brixton Academy whilst it's closed. And I've also been to some of my favourite gigs there. But as a venue, it's really weird because it's like very tall. It's really high ceiling, so it feels massive. But because it's really like wide as well, you can just get like trapped in the middle and in heat. But the worst venue in London's Wembley Arena, without a doubt. That place is terrible. Faye seems upset. I do want to say I'm also Northwest London, so I'm shooting myself in the foot here. But I would rather travel to the other side of the city to go to the O2 any day over Wembley Arena.
I will let the Northwest people fight.
Oh, rogue, like venue to hate. I just feel like it minds its own business. It doesn't make too much noise. It's just there. It's cute. It's like we're not Wembley Stadium, but sometimes you may just have a young, cute concert in Wembley Arena. I have some of my best memories in Wembley Arena. But, you know, in terms of like Northwest London, I think the venue I was going to say that's so confusing is Coco in Camden. And I think that's because it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know if it's like a club or if it's a concert space. And I think they need to figure out what like their identity is before they can like just keep an opening up, because I think some of my most confusing nights have been at Coco Camden. So I'm also shooting Northwest London a dart.
Yeah,
Northwest London right now is getting like heavily palmed off in this situation, because with Coco, I never get there on time. I always end up having to stand on the stairs on like the third floor, and it's so long because you're like, oh, I can barely see, but like, and I'm 6'3", so if I can barely see, people who are shorter than me, good luck. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I always
why
thought
is that even an option?
Yeah. Oh, also, Coco, I agree with you, Faye. It's the only venue I've been to where, like, as the gig was ending, like, a DJ comes on stage and just, like, it becomes a club, like, on a Friday night immediately. And it's just very confusing. But I do feel like there used to be this, like, really well-trodden, like, you'd go from a small venue to, like, Shepherd's Bush Empire, then Kentish Town Forum, then Brixton, then Wembley Arena, then the O2. Like, that felt like a really good path. And I feel like the thing with Brixton being shut is that really critical piece of, like, your first venue with 5,000 plus capacity is gone. And I keep hearing that they might let it reopen, but, like, there's not really been a timeline, and it's been over a year. So I heard online that, like, they need to get new doors and something like that. I just don't know how long it takes to install new doors, I guess.
I think they've got a lot of things they've got to think about before they open it up again, especially just because of what happened with Ashake. So it's just, I think they got to let that breathe a little bit. Obviously, it's been a year and a bit now since the unfortunate events that happened on that night. But even when we all went, we all saw that like there was issues with that venue. But because you're just there to just go to the gig, you're not really thinking about it too much. But like we said, heat, aircon, everything like that. They need to do a quick sweep. That's going to cost a lot of money, which they're not bringing in right now. So I hope they saved.
Yeah. All right. I brought in a topic with venues. Faye kind of kicked us off. Miles, what are you bringing?
Do you know what? This is a bit of a random one. Super, super random. I don't know how long we're going to be able to chat about it for. But, of course, it's 2024 right now. And I was literally thinking to myself the other day, how are we almost halfway through this decade and nothing's happened? Like,
what do you mean?
Honestly, I don't think anything's happened in 4 years. Since, like, you know, like, I think 2010 to 2014, was more groundbreaking or more fun. Obviously, I know COVID, all that stuff, okay. But
that's pretty big, Miles.
I don't think anything's happened. No, but I know, but that's what I'm saying. How are we halfway through this decade and nothing's happened yet? What has apart from this week, space aliens coming through, shadow aliens in Miami and all that situation, then other little things. What major things has happened in the last 4 years that we can actually be like, wow, we're really growing and evolving?
What?
I don't know about growth and evolving, but so my friends and I were discussing what would make the history curriculum like in the last 10 years, like what would kids study in school. And I think, as James said, the pandemic was like 2 years of nothing, but also 2 years of a lot. Like all the scandals that came out of Parliament, the fact that we had like 10 prime ministers in 1 year, like I think there could be a whole section on the UK government, like in itself, that would take up like A levels and GCSE. And then you have, you know, the royal family, and then I'm even just in like 2020, 2021. But I feel like there's a lot to talk about.
I mean, I hear it. I mean, do you know what it is? Like, obviously, Liz Truss, 44, 42 days, of course. COVID, the whole
cabbage.
Change, chop and change, like you said. The cabbage? What happened to, wait, what cabbage?
The cabbage lasted longer than Liz Truss.
It lasted longer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, big.
I just feel like there was just a lot of stuff that happened. But you know what? I think maybe for me, I was just like, okay, whatever. I just kind of got to 2020 and 2021, and as everything was unfolding, I was so minding my own business that maybe I just missed 2 years. I feel like it should be 2022 now instead of 2024. Honestly.
I do hear that. But what do you think happened in, say, 2010 to 2020 that you're like rivaling 2020 to 2024 with?
I just think, I don't know, like, I mean, we saw like the rise of like Vine, that was quite big at the time.
TikTok.
This is a good TikTok. Vine, TikTok is basically the same thing, let's be real. It's just TikTok is the new shiny version of Vine that was 10 years ago. I don't know, like music, like we haven't had any groundbreaking artists kind of come through yet. Like, I mean, obviously Young Thug, that's a whole different situation for another time. But like we saw a breakout, we saw the new hip hop stars like Travis Scott's, Young Thug, all of those guys, Drake. We haven't really had no new musical artists that I would say in the hip hop world that's kind of broken through. So I think there's just little things like that where I'm like, we're kind of just going through things every single day. And yeah, we've seen some madnesses, obviously, like royal family, government, cabbages, Liz Truss, Rishi, all of that happened. But I don't feel like there's anything that I can like look at and be like, that affects me. Whereas I think music and stuff, or maybe because I'm a music person, isn't it? I feel like that there's things that have affected the world that have not really affected me. It sounds like so much main character syndrome right now. I don't mean it like that. But it's just, I just don't feel like there's been anything that's like developed in that aspect for me. I don't know if I'm making myself.
I disagree. I disagree so much because literally in the past 4 years, you've had like some of the biggest artists in the world right now. I know Doja Cat, of all of these artists were before 2020, but they blew up in the past 4 years. Doja Cat, Lil Nas X, Meg The Stallion. And you're forgetting, Miles, a rapper that I know is your favourite rapper and one of the biggest rappers in the world, which blew up like a year and a half ago, Ice Spice. So I just feel like I know you're an Ice Spice fan.
I wasn't my favorite artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I'll definitely put a new Ice Spice song on quickly, but I wouldn't say favorite.
I think she's your
Take it
favourite.
back a little bit. Nah, to be fair, Gunna's probably my favorite artist of the last like couple of years. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we've seen Ice Spice come through, but I was having a chat with my friends about. Obviously, I don't want to bring it so much about being like hip hop and stuff, but like all the stars of like who would be the next ones up, we don't have them anymore. So like Pop Smoke, X, Juice WRLD, Lil Peep for some people, like all those like artists that like even Lil Uzi Vert is not as, I think, has gone as high as we all thought he would do. So maybe just musically, it's just a different situation. Yeah.
Do you know what? I can empathize with what you're saying because I used to be like a heavy like hip hop rap head, but I think I had to make the switch because I just was not being fulfilled. And I think when I started to like not want to be like the next Jay-Z of hip hop, I just started to enjoy music a lot more. So as James said, Doja Cat, Ice Spice, Meg Thee Stallion, music that's a lot more fun. I love Central C, for example. And I know it's not like, I would never have thought I would listen to like this kind of music. Not to say it's like bad music, but I was just very into like lyrics and, you know, original hip hop. And now that I'm more of like a pop girl, I'm having the time of my life. Like, I think that from 2020 to 2024, we've had like the rise of girls in hip hop. Like Doja Cat, she's actually like rapping but also making amazing like pop songs. And then we had Beyonce's Renaissance. Honestly, for me, that could have been the only thing that happened in the last 4 years, and enough would have happened for me. I think it's just such a special period of time right now. So I get that you're mourning, you know, well, quite literally mourning and like mourning hip hop, but I think it's time for like the pop girls to arise. So I'm here for it.
I hear it. I mean, guilty pleasure of last year was definitely Barbie World. I'm saying
the
right
Nicki
now.
Minaj song.
Yeah. So I didn't see the film, didn't watch the film, but I listened to that song enough times.
Miles, I'm interested because I know you're interested in like a very broad range of music, but also hip hop and rap are two like big loves of yours. Do you think that like hip hop and rap as very broad genres have like fallen off a bit versus a couple of years ago? Because it feels like there was a period of time pre-COVID as well, actually, like a good stretch of time where like any one of these big artists would have released an album and it's all anybody would have spoken about. But it doesn't feel like that's the same at the moment.
100%. I mean, like, at one point, hip-hop a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, was the biggest genre in the world. It's definitely not that anymore. Latin music has definitely come and taken that spot. The rise of South Asian music, like it's called Desi music, that's going to come through and do some crazy things in the next couple of years as well, because we're starting to see like people collaborate there. Like Rick Ross has jumped on a track with a guy called Jin Mahi. Gucci Mane's got a song with King that's on EAFC 24. So we're seeing like those collaborations come through quite well, and everybody knows J Balvin and all those artists as well. I mean, hip hop, I think it just got to the point where I'm not blaming TikTok. Okay, so I'm just not blaming TikTok for this, but because it was the biggest genre at the time, everybody tried to jump on and make a new hip hop tune and tried to jump on it. So we saw like the rise of like Pop Hunter and all these other people that came and went. Even Mooski, I like Trackstar, but where is he now? He's still doing the race somewhere. So it's stuff like that where like it kind of got to the point where it became so saturated that it got boring. And like if they're saying like you have to make that transition and go somewhere else and you're having fun. And that's, I feel like hip hop's got a bit predictable and it got a bit boring. So it's like people who like hip hop, who've been around and listened to it all their lives, who weren't around before it blew up, might go away and listen to their favorite artists in their pocket. But if you're kind of either just giving up on that or you just want some fun and you want to have some casual vibes, you're gonna kind of go where the train's moving and go and have some more fun.
Yeah, I think you raised an interesting point there, like about like Desi music, and I'm Nigerian, so I was thinking of Afrobeats, and I feel like a lot of these genres are kind of merging into one. It's very rare that you'll have like a standalone Afrobeat song without Selena Gomez jumping on, or Chris Brown jumping on, or Justin Bieber, and I feel like genres aren't really just staying like as their own like genres anymore. It's all just kind of merging into one, I won't call it a mess, but into one something.
All right, let me ask you the questions, because there's been a big change of like how things have been perceived, right? So when Justin Bieber jumped on the Essence remix, were you happy that he jumped on it? Because loads of people were getting at Justin Bieber at the time for that.
Was I happy? The thing is, okay, I actually am like a massive Justin Bieber fan, so like I tend to like most of his music. I think if it was, say, Charlie Puth or like Shawn Mendes, then I have a completely different answer. I would not be happy. And I think that what happens is when someone like Justin Bieber, you know, jumps on it, people, that's all I've heard after that. Every time, like, I never heard, like, Essence just played through the normal one. I think that did get very jarring. And that's the same thing that's happening with Calm Down. Like, you just, I just hate it. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It gives them exposure. And so I'm happy if they're happy, basically. But it would not be my first choice.
I hear it. I'm exactly the same, to be fair. So I agree. James, what about you? Actually, James, what's your guilty pleasure song of 2023/4 so far?
I don't know if I've got a guilty pleasure song because I've really gone back to albums. So like, because I listen to a lot of music whilst I'm working, so I always try to find like what are albums that I can put on that, you know, I know every word to, every song like hits song after song. So for me, it's got to be like most Taylor Swift albums. That feels predictable, but you know, like I've been loving this like rise of Noah Kahan. And it feels like Mumford & Sons music, but like his album's amazing, and he's an artist that's been around since like 2018, but has really broken through the past year. There's another artist called Lizzie McAlpine, which is, it's all the same sort of sad, depressing songwritery music, but those artists and those albums that, let's say, I can put on, make you feel something, but are like, you know, every song hits, you know, there's no skips, it's not going to like distract you from what you've done and you've heard the album 20 times now. For me, that's the direction that I've been going. Miles, I wanted to ask though, why, like what do you think is the reason behind this shift in genres and what's popular?
I think it's just life in general. Like something, whatever's the cool kid of today is not going to be the cool kid of tomorrow. Like, we've heard enough music. Like I said, some of the people who would have taken the genre to the next level are not with us anymore. And then other people who are around, they kind of chase that, okay, that sound works for me, I'm going to make 10 songs the same way. Jersey club music is fun. Obviously, everyone's dancing. Lil Uzi had a hit with it last year. You got Too Rare and a couple of other artists that are doing it as well. But it's not, you can't really, I don't think you can make that commercialized, do you know what I mean? So I think it's just a situation where people are just going to go where the trends follow and where the money is and where the fun is and where the excitement is. And hip hop is just not delivering at the peak of its powers anymore. It maybe needs to go away for a bit, be a bit of a, if you like it, you like it, come back at 2027, 28, when everyone's a little bit happy for it to come back again.
So, do you think it's like the genre then, or the quality of people in that genre? Because I'm just thinking of Taylor Swift and Beyonce that just both jump into my mind. And they are people who have been able to navigate different trends, different shifts, because I feel like their prime focus is their creativity and their artistry, irrespective of the trends, where we're seeing a lot of different artists come and go because they don't know how to sort of ride out the trend. So I'm like, can you blame hip hop for that, or is it just not producing like the quality of artists that it was before? Because I'm like a hater and lover of Drake, both like his #1 fan and his #1 hater, but that's also something that he can do as well. He can ride out different trends. So should artists just come harder, basically?
Do you know what? I think it's like the creative control that they get though, because I think if you think of Taylor, Beyonce, Drake, and all the other artists, they all blew up in a time where social media wasn't so like heavy, so people were watching them, so they could allow themselves to be a little bit more creative and kind of do their own thing on the side, and then they've kind of just been able to grow and evolve when they've had the audience, so they're going to be a bit more forgiving if they do something a bit left or something a bit right. But I mean, it's just, yeah, there's so much stuff to talk about. I don't even think we have enough time to get into all of it right now. We might need to come back and do this in another couple of weeks, but yeah, I think I think a lot of people have just got to learn and be more confident in themselves, and they've got to let their labels and their teams work with them. Yeah,
I think I agree. And Miles, as you said, we have sadly run out of time already. It's flown by so quickly. Thank you, Faye and Miles. Where can our listeners find you? Faye, we'll start with you.
Instagram, fe.oj, and I think TikTok on the same handle as well. And the motion is _. I have not said that in a while. We're on a hiatus, but we are coming back, so look out for us.
And Miles, where can people find you?
Mine is at Miles Bukowski. Hopefully you'll see my name, MYLES MCCAULSKEY. And you can find me on all socials with that.
Fantastic. I'm James Gilmore. My handles are The James Gilmore. And remember to catch new episodes of Doing the Thing live on Wizard Radio Station every Sunday from 8 p.m. UK time and on all podcast platforms from Monday morning. We'll see you next week.